All right, so you're ready to record your first podcast. Do you have a microphone? Who's going to distribute for you? Do you have a studio? What about the editing? All right, everyone relax because I think I have the answer. Anchor app. Yeah, Anchor. It's free. They distribute Spotify, Apple, many more. There's creation tools that allow you to edit and create your podcast from your phone, your laptop, or your personal computer. And the best thing of all, girl, you can make money no matter how many listeners you have. So the answer is simple. Get Anchor. Anchor FM app. Go find it now. Tell them a seat at the table sent you. Hey, yeah, I wanna shoot. Baby, shoot it, shoot it. Ooh, girl. Yes. You know what? I just want to lead off by saying, I know that Salt and Pepper has received their proverbial flowers, right? Like, I'm not just imagining that. They were recognized by some people along the way. Like, haven't they been like acknowledged as legends, or am I dreaming that? I feel like I've seen like the ubiquitous legendary homage performances to Salt and Pepper. So I feel like they've been acknowledged as legends, in our lifetime. But I just want to say that shoop-a-doop, that is a bop, okay? Here I go. Okay, girls, what's my weakness, man? Okay, then. Like, bitch, it's a fucking bop. Shoop is a bop, bitch. Oh, well, hell, make me wanna shoot it, do. Hey, yeah, I wanna shoot, baby. Yeah. That song is a fucking bop, bro. Listen. You are tuned in to an all new episode. Listen, let's just give it up for y'all, because even though you guys played me last week and really didn't listen like that, fuck you guys, okay? We have made it to episode 91. And, shout out to all the podcasts out there who are like powering through. I mean, I think for me, it's definitely easier because I do the work by myself. So there's no question of health, or are we putting each other at risk, or now we're going to have to try to figure out, some sort of remote, recording and, blah, 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 which I know can be cumbersome and difficult, and it's, whatever. But shout out to everybody who is still powering through and doing their shows and figuring it out, because, during this time, I think that there are a lot of unsung heroes during this time. And I think that, shout out to medical workers and store employees and public transportation workers and, people that work in restaurants and, that deliver and what have you. There is a myriad of people who are still out there powering through, while a lot of us civilians get to just get the choice to keep safe and stay home. A lot of people, even though they may or may not have the choice financially, if they work in a particular place that's still open, they're going to feel compelled to go to work, So shout out to all of those people. But I think that, just still doing your little podcast, or doing your YouTube, whatever, still like doing your makeup tutorials, still doing your fashion, whatever, still providing some sense of, normalcy in what is undoubtedly a very abnormal time right now. I think that is amazing. And I know that it even, intellectually and emotionally takes a lot of work. But, just the fact that you can pull yourself through just to do it, it takes a lot. So shout out to all of you guys out there because, you don't have to do it. No one would be wrong you if you said, you know what, during this time, I'm going to take the time to focus on something else. And I'm not going to present a seat at the table podcast with your host, me, Gail, to you. Like no one would begrudge me for that. I don't believe, because it's just it's a really abnormal time right now. But I think that with that said, I think that, I made a vow to myself that during this episode, I really didn't want to talk too much about what we all know is happening. Only in light of talking about, just, funny anecdotal stuff, like nothing crazy, So anyway, welcome to A Seat at the Table, episode 91. You guys, we are almost 100 episodes in, so we'll talk about that later. But, how are you doing? Oh my God. Oh man. Like, dude, how are you? Like, seriously, like, just take a moment with me and I know like you're probably in the middle of doing dishes or like, I don't know, like just, I don't know, just laying down or just chilling. But can you take a moment with me and just breathe in and just fill your chest up if you are able to, by the grace of God. Just fill your chest and your stomach up with air and just breathe it through for me, because for real, honestly, if you just take a moment and just do that, like, it's almost like you jumpstart your head again, like you tend to feel a little bit lighter when you just take a breath. So, with that said, you are tuned in to an all new episode of A Seat at the Table podcast, episode 91. I am so happy that you are here. I'm glad that you are able to listen by the grace of God. I am so happy for that. Y'all, okay, so first of all, I am Gail, and if this is your first time listening, welcome. If you're a returner to the congregation, thank you very much. Thank you. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. I am still kind of befuddled by a lot of stuff that's happening right now. Like, I'm definitely confused by a lot. I'm also like marveling at a lot right now. So I went to the market one day this week and, they're doing this system of like long line and then you are dispersed into individual cashier or whatever the case is. So I'm standing there online. There's 6 feet between myself and the person ahead of me. There's probably more like 4 feet between myself and the person behind me. I get up. It's rather efficient though. I mean, listen, for the people who are going into stores, and even if that means you, for the people who are going into stores and having anxiety because of the length of time that the experience is taking, the feeling impulsive to snap at people because they're not, 6 feet away from you and blah, da, 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 da. I think that it is imperative that right now is a time for us to recalibrate on a lot of things and maybe acknowledge the fact that perhaps energetically we could, address just even some every common day themes. So I'm in the supermarket and I'm looking around and I'm realizing that listen, people are like picking up like shit like crazy. Shelves are empty. Like people's like, listen, so the market that I go to is called Fairway. It is a boutique supermarket, right? Meaning like if you, depending on where you live, you might have like Jones on Third, which is kind of like half, if I'm not mistaken, if out in LA, that's like half market, half restaurant or deli or whatever. If you live in the city, you have Gristides, you have Balducci's, you have, just kind of more smaller markets, that are definitely more specialty boutique-y kind of markets, or, markets that are kind of, private. They kind of hedge more towards like a Whole Foods experience or Wegmans. So yeah, that is what Fairway gives. She gives Wegmans. So at any rate, I'm at Fairway and, everybody's just like picking up stuff unconsciously. Like, the line just to get some fucking deli meat is like up the fucking wazoo, So that just makes me question, do I need it? No, I don't need it. I don't need it. You know what I mean? I don't fucking eat deli meat on a regular. So why the fuck am I buying that shit now? No. Okay, cool. Everything is just wiped out. And it makes me kind of question, like, I know the frenetic, energy that is surrounding right now. And I know that the anxiety that is surrounding right now is enough to make you want to holler. You know what I mean? But I think that like the clearing of the shelves and I am also taking into account that, there's probably more traffic and there is, whereas they were maybe stocking twice a week, they are now, just kind of squeezing in an extra stock, which is really not, making up for anything in terms of delivery and the amount of merchandise that they normally have, blah, blah, blah. I'm also taking into account, though, that scarcity is such an energy that exists right now. And what I mean by that is you want a lot more. You want to hoard things for fear that there will not be any more, or you will be told at some point that you can't leave. And so you need a ton of it. You need to stockpile. You need to have more of it. You need to control something. So give me more, The funny thing is, even though that energy exists in the market, where that energy really dies out? At the fucking register. So I am I'm one person behind the next person or the person in front of me. So there's one person in front of me. She's, putting her stuff on the conveyor. Now she has a cart full of fucking shit. Even as the person in front of her was paying, she was like dipping off the line to go get more shit and come back. And you know what I mean? And it was just like a lot of crazy shit, like a lot of, reckless shit. I don't know her like that, but the shit was reckless. It was like, tons of ice cream and yada, yada, yada. Like I ain't judging because, bitch, my shopping cart looked like I was, preparing for a preschool party. Meanwhile, that is my food group. And I'm going to pay for that, okay? But anyways, so as she's putting her stuff on the conveyor belt, as opposed to like emphatically putting it on there the same way you emphatically pick that shit up, it's like she's putting everything one by one, having delicate thought about it as that total rises up to the top like cream, like crust on a pie. She rise. And she was not putting her fucking groceries on as with the same energy that she was picking her shit up. And it just made me think, if that's what's happening, if you are having second thoughts at the point of purchase, you don't need this shit. You don't need it. Get what you need. Get what you need. And if you can afford to get what you want, by all means, who am I? I'm not the police of the groceries, okay? But what I'm saying is, if you can't and you're just like picking up and you're creating more of a you're creating more frenzy at the point of sale because